The monster inside him never really died. It only waited silent in the shadows, patient like a predator stalking its prey. But now, the dark passenger stirs again. Darkness does not fade. It only sleeps, and for Dexter Morgan, sleep never lasts long. He had tried to silence the voice inside him, that whisper of hunger, the urge to kill that he called his dark passenger. For a while, he convinced himself it was gone. He built walls around it, buried it deep, pretended that he could live a normal life. But monsters cannot be tamed. They can only be restrained, and restraints always break. It begins slowly, like a faint pulse in the back of his mind. The same feeling that haunted him as a child, the same force his father, Harry, tried to control with a code. The voice is subtle at first, like a breeze moving through empty halls. But with every passing day it grows louder, until it is no longer a whisper, it is a demand. Dexter knows this feeling well. The dark passenger has returned, and it is hungry. He tries to fight it. He distracts himself with routine, with the false rhythm of ordinary life. But ordinary life has no place for him. Every time he looks at people walking on the street, smiling, laughing, pretending to be whole, he feels like an intruder. He does not belong in their world. He belongs to the shadows. The dark passenger reminds him with every heartbeat. And then comes the memory. The faces of those he once judged. The monsters who hid behind masks of normalcy. Rapists, killers, predators. Their faces flash before him one after another like ghosts haunting him from beneath the surface. Dexter remembers the thrill of catching them, the cold satisfaction of ending them. These memories are not chains, they are sparks. Sparks that ignite the fire once more. The world has not changed. Evil still walks freely, smiling, unpunished. And for Dexter, that is all the reason he needs. His purpose, his nature, his curse, it all returns to him in a flood of clarity. He cannot resist it because this is who he truly is. No matter how far he runs, no matter how deeply he hides, Dexter Morgan is not a man of peace. He is a man of blood. The dark passenger rises like a shadow stretching across his soul, wrapping around him, whispering in his ear, and this time, there is no escape, no running, no pretending, it is back. And with it comes the promise of death. Someone out there is already marked. Someone will soon face judgment, not in a court of law. But on Dexter's table, the resurrection has begun. Evil hides best in plain sight. Some monsters do not stalk alleys or roam the night with knives in their hands. Some wear polished shoes, tailored suits, and charming smiles. They sit at tables with neighbors, shake hands with strangers, and pretend to be men of respect. But beneath that mask, the rot festers. That is Prater. To most people, Prater is nothing more than a businessman. A man of influence, a name whispered with either respect or fear. He donates to charities, funds campaigns, and appears on stages with a spotless grin. But Dexter sees what others refuse to. He sees through the mask into the sickness beneath. And the sickness is ugly. Behind closed doors, Prater preys on the weak. He does not carry a weapon. His power is his disguise. He manipulates, coerces, destroys, and leaves behind lives shattered in silence. Victims too afraid to speak? Stories buried under contracts and threats. A trail of pain hidden behind money and reputation. Dexter reads these shadows like scripture, every hidden bruise, every missing name, every night that ends in fear, and with each discovery, the dark passenger grows restless. It does not tolerate patience, it demands action. For Dexter, Prater is no longer just a man, he is a target. A name written on the invisible list in Dexter's mind, a list that always ends with death. Prater moves like a king in his castle, untouchable by laws, shielded by connections. But Dexter knows better. No man is untouchable when the shadows are watching. He studies him, every movement, every routine. Dexter becomes the ghost at the edge of his vision. The stranger on the sidewalk, the car in the distance. He does not blink, he does not rest, he waits. Surveillance becomes ritual. At night, Dexter watches from a distance as Prater dines in expensive restaurants, laughing with people who never suspect the devil is sitting beside them. In the day, he follows. The patterns, the office visits, the quiet meetings, the hidden exchanges that no reporter will ever see. The more Dexter observes, the more the puzzle reveals itself. And the dark passenger whispers louder, eager for the final piece. But this is not just about punishment, it is about balance. The code of Harry still echoes in Dexter's mind, reminding him of the rules that separate him from chaos. Never an innocent, only the guilty. Proof must come before blood. And proof is what Dexter gathers like a craftsman collecting tools. He builds a case against Prater in silence, not for the courts, but for his own judgment seat. Yet the strange part is this: Prater feels invincible. He walks with arrogance, blind to the storm forming around him. He believes his money and power shield him from consequence. And maybe that is true for the world of laws and courts, but not in the world Dexter lives in. In Dexter's world, the shield only makes the fall harder. Night after night, Dexter sharpens his focus. He prepares his tools. The plastic sheets folded with precision, the knives polished until they gleam, the syringes filled, waiting for their moment. Each object becomes part of the silent orchestra he will conduct when the time comes. But not. Yet the dark passenger does not rush. It savors the wait. Prater does not know it, but every laugh he shares, every lie he tells, every victim he silences, is one step closer to his own silence. For the first time, Dexter feels it, the resurrection of ritual, the purpose surging back into his veins, the familiar thrill of justice, twisted and bloody, but justice nonetheless. The hunt has begun. The shadow of Prater stretches longer with each passing day. And when night finally swallows him, he will meet the predator that no disguise can fool. Dexter Morgan. There is a silence that comes before the storm. A silence so heavy it presses down on the skin like weight. Dexter knows this silence well. It is the stillness of preparation, the calm heartbeat before the ritual begins. For days, the dark passenger has whispered for action, for release, and tonight, it finally gets what it demands. The ritual is not improvisation. It is design. Every detail matters. Dexter has always treated the kill as more than survival. It is art. The tools are laid out in perfect order, blades glistening under the dim light, syringes filled with measured precision, rolls of plastic ready to smother every trace of what is to come. Each item is not just a tool, but a sacred piece of the ceremony. For others, death is chaos. For Dexter, death is structure. He builds the kill room with practiced hands. The plastic sheets unfold like a cocoon, wrapping walls, floors, and ceilings in cold, sterile silence. A stage stripped of sound, color, or escape. Once inside, there is only truth. There is no audience, no jury, no plea. Only Dexter, the dark passenger, and the condemned tonight. That condemned man is Prater. Dexter studies the photographs taped to the wall, faces of victims, fragments of lives shattered by Prater's greed and violence. They stare back, silent witnesses waiting for justice. This is not random. This is not senseless. This is judgment delivered by a predator who hunts predators. And as Dexter looks at their eyes, he feels the calm wash over him. The storm is ready to break. When Prater steps into the night, he does not realize he is already prey. He leaves the restaurant, drunk on arrogance, his laughter echoing in the empty street. Dexter follows from the shadows, silent, patient. A syringe waits in his hand, hidden in the folds of his jacket. The timing has to be perfect. One mistake, and the ritual collapses. But Dexter never misses. A brush of movement, a flash of silver, a soft whisper of air, and the needle sinks into flesh. Prater gasps, confusion flickering across his eyes. He tries to resist, to swing, to shout, but the darkness floods him faster than fear. His body collapses into Dexter's waiting arms. The street swallows the scene. To the world, nothing happened. To Dexter, everything has begun. When Prater wakes, the world has changed. He is strapped to the table, surrounded by plastic walls that glisten like ice. His wrists and ankles bound, his mouth gagged, his eyes wide with panic. The air smells of antiseptic, sharp and clean. On the walls around him, the faces of his victims stare down like silent judges. Dexter steps into the light. calm and collected, as if he has done this 1,000 times, because he has. His voice is steady, almost clinical, as he explains. The rules, these are the lives you destroyed, Prater. They don't get justice in this world, but they will get it here. Prater thrashes, his muffled screams echoing against the plastic, but there is no escape. The code has been fulfilled, proof has been gathered, judgment is clear. Dexter picks up the blade, and for a moment, silence reigns. Then comes the final act, swift, precise, merciless. The blade arcs, the body jerks, the blood flows, but within the plastic cocoon it is contained. Ritual complete, and with it the dark passenger exhales in satisfaction. The hunger is fed, the balance restored. For Dexter, there is no thrill like this, the cold certainty that the monster within him has purpose. Not random destruction, but deliberate cleansing. Prater's life ends not in headlines or trials, but in silence erased by the man who hunts the hunters. Dexter stands over the lifeless body, breathing slowly, the storm inside. Him quiet again, for now. He looks around the kill room, at the faces on the walls, at the plastic shining with crimson, and he feels something he cannot explain to the world. Peace. The hunt is over, but the hunger never ends. There is no applause at the end of Dexter's ritual. No crowd, no justice declared by the world outside. Only silence. The kind of silence that feels alive, heavy, breathing through the walls. As Prater's body lies still beneath the glow of the kill room lights, Dexter does what he has always done. He begins the final act of his ceremony. The blade is wiped clean first. Dexter handles it with the same precision a surgeon would give to an open heart. Every smear of red is erased, every droplet captured. The plastic sheets ripple softly as he moves, wrapping and folding, sealing away the evidence of what just occurred. For most men, this moment would be horror. For Dexter, it is routine, the sacred ritual of order after chaos. He works in silence, but the silence is not empty. The dark passenger hums quietly inside him, satisfied yet restless, like a predator that has fed but is already watching for the next scent of blood. Dexter knows this feeling well. It is not victory. It is inevitability. Prater's face stares up one last time before it disappears beneath plastic and tape. All arrogance, all power, all illusion stripped away. The mighty man reduced to nothing. More than another wrapped secret, soon to be scattered in the sea. Dexter's hands are steady as he seals the package, as if he were tying the final knot on a gift. A gift not for himself, but for the balance of a world that will never know what was taken from it tonight. He pauses only once, to look at the photographs taped to the walls, the victims. Silent faces now freed from the shadow of Prater's existence. They remain still, cold, but in Dexter's mind their eyes no longer beg. Their torment has been answered. And though they cannot speak, Dexter feels their silence differently now, as if, for a moment, the dead are at peace. Cleanup continues. The walls stripped of photographs, the tape peeled away, the plastic folded and bagged. Dexter erases every trace of the room's purpose until it is nothing more than an empty shell, a forgotten space. By the time he leaves, no one will ever know what happened here. To the city, Prater will simply vanish, another missing name, another unsolved question. To Dexter, he is just another chapter closed, but something is different this time. As Dexter drives to the harbor, the black bags resting quietly in his trunk, he feels it deeper than before. The return, the resurrection? He had tried to silence this part of himself, to bury it under the weight of ordinary life. But the dark passenger does not die. It was waiting, and now it has risen again, stronger than ever. The ocean receives Prater, without question, as it has received so many before him. The water swallows the bags, pulls them down into the cold depths, and erases the evidence with an indifferent tide. Dexter watches the ripples fade, the surface calm once more, and for a brief second he imagines the darkness beneath the waves is kin to the darkness within him, endless. Deep without mercy, driving away, the night feels sharper, cleaner. The city sleeps unaware, safe in the illusion that monsters only live in stories. But Dexter knows the truth. Monsters live among them. And one of those monsters is himself? He grips the wheel tighter. There is no more pretending, no more hiding. He is not cured, not reformed, he is resurrected. And the dark passenger whispers its promise with every passing streetlight. This is only the beginning. The camera would fade to black here, but the sound would linger, the steady rhythm of a heartbeat, low, unrelenting, echoing in the darkness. The heartbeat of Dexter Morgan, the heartbeat of the dark passenger, the heartbeat of resurrection. The cycle has begun again.